kaboot it.
Dude.
You're laughing at me.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Henry Confidential Talks Movies. We've been doing a lot of random things on this weekend. So Jacob Barber is new to the channel technically. Like, obviously he's been around, but he's, in terms of everyone, he's the newest. So I gave him the idea, hey, we want to do a draft. We're hanging out. What do you want to go? He was like, let's do Christmas movies. So Jacob Barber, I said, what do you want to do? He said Christmas movies. So with that said, we did a random order of the picks. So Jake Tato got first pick, followed by Ant-Man, followed by Jordan, followed by Jacob Barber, and then me. So with that said, Jake Tato, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about Christmas movies as a whole, and what are your thoughts on just the concept of drafts?
I love me some drafts. It's a great thing. Christmas movies on the whole, I'm pretty 50-50 on. I don't hate them. I don't super love them or anything. So pretty 50-50 there.
There you go. Ant-Man, you weren't a part of the MCU one, which I know pissed you off. So what are your thoughts on the concept of drafts in general and specifically Christmas movies?
Oh, I love drafts and Christmas movies. Yeah, I didn't think there's still a lot of, like, let's say, classics that I need to see for Christmas, but I still seen a good amount. So I'm curious to see how this all pans out, especially with the 5 of us. So yeah, just glad to be in. And also, quick, I love the movies in your new intro, but I miss your old intro.
Yeah, it's one of those ones just mixed up. Just give a taste of it, see what it is. But yeah, strong side, left side.
Right.
JPO, as someone who has his own intro, what are your thoughts on Christmas movies and specifically just the concept of drafts?
Oh, yeah, I do have my own intro, but I have a new one coming in January made by somebody else. What was the other question?
Drafts.
No, they're fun, man. Yeah, that's always heartbreaking when the one you really want gets taken, but then you got to kind of work on the fly, come up with some other options. It's a good time.
There you go. And last but not least, Jacob, this was your choice. So is it one of the things that it was just the first thing that came to your mind, or are you just genuinely passionate about Christmas movies?
It was absolutely the first thing that came to my mind. I was put on the spot, and I was like, it's December, Christmas. Let's do it. And I generally do just really enjoy Christmas movies. So, yeah, and I like drafting. Like, I'll just...
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, who cares? It is what it is. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Tato, you were elected the first option, and you decided to go first. So with that said, you have the first overall pick in best Christmas movies or just Christmas movies in general, drafts. What is your pick?
And with the first pick in this draft, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Interesting. All right, Nightmare Before Christmas is off the board. All right. So as always, we will talk about the movies after each round is done. So we're not going to talk about each person's pick until at the end of the round. So with that said, Nightmare Before Christmas is off the board. Ant-Man, you are next up. What is your pick?
Home Alone. That's my second pick. Our first pick this round.
Home Alone. All right. So Home Alone is off the board. And obviously, if you guys ever want to say for your own pick, you can talk about your pick as you're drafting it, but then the other people will talk about it when it comes up. But with that said, JPO, pick 3 off the board.
I got to go with the greatest Christmas movie of all time, Die Hard.
That hurts. Damn it. You just pissed me off so much. I just accidentally deleted that banner. All right. Die Hard is off the board. So now we are up to Jacob Barber. Nightmare Before Christmas, Home Alone, and Die Hard is off the board.
Yeah, I was hoping Die Hard would fall one more time. But yeah, with no prep, it's a little harder because it's like you're just going through it. I'm going to go with A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Interesting. A Muppet Christmas Carol is off the board. All right, so I'm going to go with my first pick of round 1, and then we'll go just across, and we'll have everyone's opinions on each pick. So for my first one, I am going to obviously go with one of the top 5 greatest movies of all time. I'm going with It's a Wonderful Life. It's one of those movies that you may not specifically think about Christmas, but you think about the holidays in general. So I'm going to go with It's a Wonderful Life. So with that said, I'm going to talk about Die Hard. Obviously, probably I feel like It's a Wonderful Life would probably still be my number 1 pick, but Die Hard would easily be my number 2, followed by Home Alone, then Nightmare, and then I have not seen a single Muppet movie. Fun fact. So I would not be able to have an opinion on that. Barber, you went 4th. Would Die Hard, Home Alone, or Nightmare Before Christmas been one of your picks?
Die Hard definitely would have been. I think it's an obvious choice. I was surprised it didn't go 1 or 2. But I guess it depends on if you think it's a Christmas movie or not. I'm in the camp of yeah, it's absolutely a Christmas movie. But I get the argument for why it's not. But yeah, no, I also love Nightmare Before Christmas. It's not a Tim Burton directed, but it is his story, and I'm a big fan of Tim Burton. So yeah, I would have thought about those, but and Home Alone also Christmas classic, but A Muppet Christmas Carol, I love that movie. Michael Caine had no idea, like he had no reason to act that good alongside Muppets. It's just a really great performance inside what could have just been a silly movie. And It's a Wonderful Life. I've only seen it once. And I'm like, Christmas does play a part, but I'm like, you could take that out, and it's like a plot point, sure, but I like, yeah, it's kind of a Christmas movie, I guess.
That's fair. All right, JPO, going 3rd. What is your thoughts on the other movies that have been selected? And are you confident that if you had the number 1 pick, you still would have went Die Hard?
No, I definitely would have went Die Hard, but you definitely took what I've also would have been happy with choosing first, which is It's a Wonderful Life. Definitely was super high, the very next thing on my list. Home Alone's a great pick. And yeah, the other 2 are good picks. I haven't seen them up at one personally, and I'm not the biggest Night Before Christmas fan, but I know there are many that are.
All right, Ant-Man. Being this, on a draft, what are your thoughts? Because you said you weren't 100% confident in the Christmas theme going in, but what are your thoughts on round 1 as a whole, as well as your pick for Home Alone in the first?
It went pretty much how I expected it. I haven't seen the Muppet movie also, and I would have went Die Hard, but again, I'm not actually trying to win this, and there's always so much debate over whether it's a fucking Christmas movie. I actually also think it's a Christmas movie, but there's also so many people that think it isn't that I'm not.
I'm also happy pissing people off. That's also my goal.
Right.
I like that.
I'm happy just going with like the safe pick, just like, best available talent, and that's pretty much a classic. So I'm happy with my pick, and just hoping no one else takes the rest of my.
There you go. And last but not least, Tato, you went 1st overall. Do you genuinely believe Nightmare Before Christmas is the number 1 pick overall? And if you hadn't gone Nightmare Before Christmas 1st overall, do you think it would have swung back to you in round 2?
Maybe. I don't know if it would have gotten to me at 10, but I am regretting going as early as I did. I thought maybe someone would sneak it, and I just wanted to lock it in. It's a Wonderful Life would be a toss-up there. The round went pretty much as expected, as other people have mentioned. Home Alone's great. Die Hard is fantastic. The Muppet movie is a movie with Muppets in it.
Have you seen it?
Nah.
Okay, so this is the first time I've been on the panel where I am the only one that has seen a specific movie, and I just want to remember this moment for me personally.
I have a specific clip for that you can say to everyone else. Barbara, you ready for this?
Fuck your life! Bing bong!
It doesn't happen often. All right. So with that said, we're going to bounce over to round 2, snake draft style. I am next up. I'm going Elf. Will Ferrell. This is one of those movies that regardless of what genre you're looking for, what vibe you're looking for, it's rewatchable. It really hits all the notes that you want. Will Ferrell, even if you don't like him as an actor, you love Buddy the Elf. You love the dynamic between him and James Caan's character. You love the arc. You love Zooey Deschanel. It just brings everything you want, the Christmas spirit, all the cliche stuff that it hits. It does enough unique stuff that I am so confident for this being a round 2 pick. And I'm happy that I'm surprised that didn't go round 1. And I'm so happy that I was able to get a round 2. So It's a Wonderful Life and Elf is really hitting hard for me with my draft. Jacob, what is your next draft pick?
Oh, I'm between a couple. I'm going to go with The Santa Claus.
Fuck yeah.
I think this movie is great. I think Tim Allen as Scott Calvin, Santa Claus, I think the arc he goes through, I think is really wonderful. And yeah, I rewatched it earlier because it's one of my favorites. So Santa Claus.
Give some
There you
respect
go.
to
And
David
talk about a
Crumholz.
movie that just got a recent like resurgence.
Yeah.
All right, JPO, you are next up.
All right. Let's go with two of our finest actors. They're just dads trying to get a goddamn toy. Jingle all the way.
Oh,
Getting that in the second round is a bummer because I'm like, damn it, that's something I could have got later. I'm hoping. Jingle all the way. All right. What are any thoughts?
It's been a fun one since I was a kid. I still think it's zany humor. That you know what, if you're in the right mood, it still holds up.
There you go. Ant-Man.
all right. So since my projection's totally fucked now, and like JPO said, I think I also want to piss people off a little bit. And I just actually finished watching this movie last night. Let's go Lethal Weapon. Oh, Lethal Weapon.
I like it. So I obviously going into that, do you think it's legitimately a Christmas movie? And do you think it's something that you could have gotten later?
Could have gotten later, but at this point, I'm just like, damn. But both those movies that just take, especially Santa Claus, because I'm like, I almost went round one with that, but again, I thought it could just fall. So, that's why I was like, you know what? Let me go a little bit out of left field, and just at least, yes, I do believe it is a Christmas movie. They make that very, very clear. They say Merry Christmas like at least 5 times in the fucking movie. So yeah,
That is fair. All right, Tato, we're gonna go with one of your 2 snake draft picks to end round 2. What is your pick to end round 2?
You're muted.
You are muted.
I am muted. I will go with A Christmas Story.
There you go.
Nice
Shoot
pick.
your eye out, kid. Give us a little anecdote on why you picked that one.
Yeah, it's just like it's a really classic. I mean, it's a Christmas story. But you'll shoot your eye out. The BB gun, the leg lamp. It's got all those like very knowable moments, and yeah, shit like that. It's also like my mom always has to catch it at least once on that 24-hour fucking whatever channel they show it on.
TBS.
There you go.
There you go. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump over. Tato, you had a swing draft now there. So is there anything of Elf, the Santa Claus, Jingle All the Way, and Lethal Weapon that you would have genuinely picked?
Elf was on my board. I probably would have grabbed it on this bend. Nothing else would have been in this round for me. Lethal Weapon escaped my thought. But yes, I would agree that it is a Christmas movie in that context. Jingle All the Way, probably a little later. The Santa Claus, probably not on my board. Not that it's terrible or anything, but it just wouldn't have been high up enough for me to get it.
All right, Ant-Man, any thoughts on everyone else's picks?
yeah, I'm like, especially the Santa Claus. That's the one that really hurts. It's like the Giants not taking Justin Herbert as a quarterback. It's just like mine is more like almost like on a whim, but I'm still proud of it. But like, yeah, Santa Claus, and then especially Jingle All the Way. Like Jingle All the Way has the potential, even though it's a second round pick, it's still like in a way like a sleeper, but like a very strong sleeper because it's Arnold, but Santa Claus is the one that hurts. So, and I haven't seen. I like Elf, but honestly, I would have let that drop. So, and just I'm happy where I went. So,
all right, JPO, you were middle of the road in terms of draft position. What are your thoughts on everyone else's picks, and are you happy with how your round 2 went?
I'm happy. You are 2 for 2 in stealing what I'm just about to say, though, Henry. Yeah, Elf again was 100% gonna be my pick. But you got to it first, so let's see if you're 3 for 3 next round. But no, I'm so happy with it. I'm happy to snag Jingle All the Way. I can see people maybe going for it later, but it's something I wanted to get pretty early. Santa Claus is another one that I probably would have gone to maybe if it was still around, in a round or two. But yeah.
There you go. And last but not least, Jacob Barber, what are your thoughts? You had an early pick in round 2. Is there anything that later that you went after you that you hoped would have swung back to you, but it's one of those things that kind of just is what it is?
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about Lethal Weapon. I'm on the fence about whether it's a Christmas movie or not. But only because I've only seen it once. Like I need to give it a rewatch. I'm like, yeah. Well, I don't really remember much, but when I said I was thinking about two, Jingle All the Way was the second one that I was thinking, but I'm not surprised it went round two. It is a fun one. Elf, it's good, but I don't get as excited to watch it as the years go by. Like it's still a fun one, but it's like maybe it's played out. Maybe it's just not as fun as I in the past, but it's still a good one, and I know like people still love it, so it's not a bad. It's like I think it's a great round two pick. Like it just not a movie I go back to personally.
Absolutely. All right. So now we are going to start round 3 with Jake Tato. Jake Tato, you have a swing pick. You went Christmas Story last to end round 2. What are your how are you going to start round 3?
I'm gonna hop off board the Christmas movies with literally with the word in the title. I'm gonna go Trading Places here.
Oh, you fucker! Damn, good one.
Right. Any anecdotes of why you picked that, or do you want to save it for later?
It's hilarious. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, we'll save it for later.
There you go. Antonio, your next pick.
I'm gonna keep it going with the R-rated stuff and go Bad Santa.
Okay, now we're talking. Time to make some sandwiches. What are your thoughts on Bad Santa?
It's one of those movies that I used to rewatch a lot, and I just haven't. But now that it's Christmas time, I'm like, yeah, that's one of the movie I love rewatching. I kind of wish they didn't make a sequel, but this one's just because on its own, it's freaking amazing. Like, who thought that Billy Bob Thornton would be like an awesome, like just fucking deadbeat mall Santa Claus? And rest in peace, Bernie Mac.
Fucking facts. All right,
And John Ritter.
And John Ritter.
There you go. JPO, we're back over to you.
I'm gonna go to, in my opinion, one of the best Netflix movies in general, Klaus.
The Netflix
movie, man, dude, this movie is a banger. It really will warm your heart. It's a very unique, beautiful animation style. J.K. Simmons, one of the, is the voice of Klaus. Yeah, it's a really good movie.
All right, I'm definitely some respect for that one. Barber.
All right. I'm surprised this one didn't go round 1 or 2. I'm gonna go with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I was literally hoping you were gonna skip that one and I could get that one. All right, Christmas Vacation. What are your thoughts?
I'm not as high on it as most people, but
I didn't get it.
I know that a lot of people are. So like, if the idea is to draft a 5 that people are like, oh yeah, that's the best 5. Like, I'll draft a movie I'm not as high on if other people are.
That actually makes it really worse. I'm really pissed off.
What?
I respect that though. All right, we're back over to me. I'm gonna go with Home Alone 2 to end round 3.
Nice.
Obviously, it's not as good as the first one, but it's one of those ones where most people are going to, even though it's not as good as the first one, you have no hesitation to throw it on as a double feature with the first one. It stands up. It's one of those movies where Macaulay Culkin still stands up. You have the Wet Bandits turned into Sticky Bandits. It's a lot of fun. You have the Pigeon Lady. It's Lost in New York. New York is a character, and it's a lot of fun. So it really sets what you're looking for. So it's I'm not even mad at it. So I'm gonna go Home Alone 2. So with that said, Jacob, what are your thoughts on everyone's votes or picks for round 3?
Klaus Hurts. I was hoping to get that one. I love that movie. Trading Places I haven't seen, and Bad Santa. I'm like, I understand people love it, but it's not one that I go back to. But again, if you're drafting, what other people like it's a good pick. And Home Alone 2, like I was hoping you didn't pick it.
I appreciate that. That's the biggest compliment of the night. JPO, going Klaus, is that one that you confidently now in retrospect, you think it was a good decision to go with it in round 3, or is it one you think you maybe could have slipped in round 4? And what are your thoughts on the other picks in round 3?
It's hard to say. I think it's that good to where somebody like Jacob said, he might have taken it. So I'm happy to go ahead and take it now because I think it is that good. I think if you've seen it, I think it will warm your heart. It's one I went to. I'm not even sure if I saw it at Christmas time, but I just kind of fell in love with it. I think it's like I said, it's honestly one of the best Netflix films in general, even outside of the Christmas season.
There you go. Ant-Man, you went with a raunchy R-rated comedy. Do you think you made the right choice to go round 3 for you? And what are your thoughts on everyone else's opinions on round 3?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect anyone else was gonna think of Trading Places, but respect to Tato for that. And I never seen Netflix movies, whatever. But I mean, I'll check it out. But Christmas Vacation is one of those movies where like
they've also made like Oscar-winning Best Picture movies. Like they're not all bad. Like don't be that guy.
Right. But Christmas Vacation is one of the movies where like I hear a lot about it and I watched it. I'm like, I'm not that high on it as a Christmas. And I know it's like about Christmas, but I'm not that high on it. So it'd be one of those things.
Growing me. I will tell you that. I will 1,000% vouch that the first, and I've always been a big fan of the first Vacation. For some reason, Christmas Vacation didn't hit the first time.
Right.
Every rewatch, it has gone up. So I don't know how many times you've seen it, but I will say it's gone up each rewatch for whatever reason. So
I just saw it once, and then Home Alone 2. Honestly, as a New Yorker, I'm like, I should have went with that, but Donald Trump's in it, so I'm like, I didn't want to leave all that to the wrong stuff.
Also,
gotta love people's reasons for weird shit. And last but not least, Tato, you round 1, 2, you started round 3. What were your thoughts on just how round 3 went as a whole?
Yeah, Klaus was something I was hoping would come back to me. That was my next pick on my board. Bad Santa, I don't remember if I saw it when it came out. It's not striking a chord. I have not seen
like a Tato movie. So if you haven't seen it,
hell yeah, that's a watch along movie.
Yeah,
all right, I'll be down. I'm always down for the watch along. And Home Alone 2, while you mentioned is not as good as the first, is still pretty fucking awesome. So
the equivalent of Back to the Future 2 of Back to the Future, where it's like clearly it's not the first one, but it's still really good. Like it's fine. Like you know what I mean? It hits. All right. So with that said, I'm gonna start off round 4, and this is a movie that if you asked me this 2-3 years ago, nowhere near what I'm not even trying to pander with my pick here because I actually on rewatch it worked for me. The first time I watched it, I would have not have said that, but I'm gonna go with Love Actually. This is a movie that hit on rewatch. Richard Curtis directions. I don't know what it was. The first time I saw this, I was just in the wrong mindset. I actually thought it was like over the top and cheesy and all that stuff. But like everything with the characters, it really hits, dude. Like I don't know what it was. I swear to God, the first time I was just in my, everyone who is a fan of movies goes through a weird, overly critical phase. And the first time I saw this, it just happened to be during that time. On rewatch, I've seen this 2 or 3 times now since, and I swear to God, it hits, dude. Like I watched this last year, like at work. Like I was just watching in the background just to kind of have a little bit of music and like uptone stuff. And I swear to God, my shift went a lot long because I'm a FedEx delivery driver. And it's one of those things where it's like my shift went a lot longer than it should have been because I just stopped to watch and like watch specific scenes and like listen to like the characters speak because this movie hits, dude. It's a banger. And it's one of those ones where it's like, God damn, dude. It's cliche to say now, but it really does hit. So Love Actually, I'm happy that I was able to get this in round 4. Let's go over to Jacob Barber. What's your next pick in round 4?
I'm gonna go with Gremlins.
Ooh, now we're talking.
Good call.
What are your thoughts?
It's a fun like horror comedy, and once like that second half that picks up, like I have so much fun with it. It's just a fun time.
JPO's trying to dish you somehow.
No. I'm preparing my statement.
Oh, okay. All right, lawyer. JPO. The defense is on. What do you got?
All righty. Well, I can't wait for Eamon to get mad because I'm going to switch from Netflix and I'm going to go to Hulu and I'm going to pick Happiest Season.
Okay.
Talk about something you could have gotten.
That's okay.
Fourth round.
Right.
This is the 4th round, you motherfucker.
No, 14.
Absolutely not, dude.
This a fucking
movie,
kicker.
directed by Clea Duval, is a great ensemble piece. It is absolutely funny.
Comment below if you've heard of this movie. No.
Yeah, and a lot of people will because it's a good movie. Happiest Season.
Is this the one with Kristen Stewart?
Yes, Kristen Stewart.
Oh, okay, I did hear about it. All right.
Heard of it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
Let's just put it this way: it's not on my board. All right. Any
That's
last words you
okay.
got about that before we move on?
Yeah, go update your Hulu subscriptions and watch a lovely film.
Not
that
gonna lie,
was-
hearing about that movie makes me want to cancel my Hulu subscription.
Why?
Ant-Man, what do you got?
All right, so we're gonna switch back to some wholesome stuff. Although it gets kind of dark. I'm gonna go with Dr. Seuss's "How the Grinch Stole Christmas" with Jim Carrey, the Jim Carrey version, directed by Brian Michaels. I mean, Ron Howard. Yeah, I know people give it a lot of flack, but I low-key think it's a very underrated Christmas movie, and I feel like maybe it's actually kind of this is the movie where it's kind of gone up on rewatch for me. Like, I know there's some parts of it that are just like kind of iffy, but it's still like I feel like it's a very wholesome Christmas movie.
Yeah, most 4-year-olds say it did go up on rewatch for them as they watch.
You're an idiot.
Right?
Tato, how are you gonna end round 4?
I'm gonna go to a classic because I don't have one of them yet. I'm gonna go with the OG Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Let's go. I want to hear why, because that sounds like I just Googled what is the right answer. Let's go.
Largely that.
Okay, you meant it.
All
Respect.
right, I'll give you that. All right. As someone who
I've seen it. I do enjoy it. And honestly, I just think it rounds out my list nicely. I don't have a classic. I think I needed it.
That's fair. So not all of us started with a classic like me. With that said, Ant-Man, you actually did give a little bit of praise or at least recognition to Miracle on 34th Street. So what are your thoughts on his pick? Would you have hoped that was swung back around you? And Happiest Season, probably not. Love Actually and Gremlins, would you have picked those if they had fallen to you instead of Gremlins?
No, I gave respect because I would have used it for the exact same reason that Taylor just admitted he did it for, was because like it's the right answer.
You guys are fucking brutal. Literally, my 5th round pick is going to be because it's in my top 100, not because I give a shit about the poll. But keep going.
And then I think I might end up stealing your fucking number 5 pick. But anyway, for Gremlins, I almost forgot that was a fucking Christmas movie, and I only saw it once. No, wasn't that big of a fan of it. It's good. It's just I'm not that big of a fan of it, so whatever. And then Love Actually, I've actually been really, really curious to see it. So, and I know how much.
You haven't seen it at all?
No, never seen it at all.
Interesting. Okay. Have you seen About Time, the other Richard Curtis famous movie? I'm just curious.
The better one.
Even though I didn't like it that much either, but I mean, just because I'm not a fan of Donald Gleason, I just don't like him as a leading man. That's
Did
just
you
me.
hear that, JPO? He doesn't like Ex Machina. Are you gonna take that?
Yeah, come on, dude. He's great in About Time and Ex Machina.
Oscar Isaac is a fucking
It's a dual header, baby.
right, the dual header. And then honestly, a little bit of respect for Happiest Season because I did hear a lot of good things about that movie. I just haven't seen it, but
No
the
one
fucking-
has. JPO, what are your thoughts? Do you regret picking your shitty movie? And what are your thoughts on everyone else's pick?
It's a great flipping movie. I don't mind that y'all haven't seen it and you're sleeping on it because it's a
I think you
great
just
movie.
want to see Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie Davis make out. That's why.
I mean, it's one of many reasons it's a good movie.
Wait,
Dude
hold on.
from
Let's
Schitt's
just
Creek's
acknowledge
very
that Antonio
funny.
just admitted he had not seen that movie, but somehow he knew that plot point. What are we talking?
Fucking Christ.
It's in the trailer. I can't come up to my parents because it's not accepted.
Mary Steen
nowadays.
version, Allison Brie.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
Fucking a good movie.
Rafi Bob.
It's a
Barbara,
good
what are
movie.
your thoughts on everyone
82%.
else's picks on round 4?
Aubrey
This is-
Plaza,
So, hold
Dan
on.
Levy.
We are 4 full rounds into your selected category. What are your thoughts on how this draft has gone by so far?
I think it's gone really well. I'm not surprised at any of the picks, except for maybe Happiest Season in the 4th.
Even didn't you say you like that movie?
I've never seen the movie,
Oh,
but I've also never seen Miracle.
No,
on
he
34th
liked that you
Street
picked
or-
it because that gives him another option of a better movie to pick.
Yeah. Um,
I'm not trying to win polls here. I'm going by my heart.
That's like the Raiders picking Alex Leatherwood in the first round. Like, yes, there's more.
I don't know what that
We're
means.
good.
With the bullets in my head, I don't
Me
know
and
what that
Taylor
means.
not, or even Jacob too.
All right. So with that said, Tato, you are
Nerds.
starting round 5, the final round in the Christmas draft, Christmas movie draft. What are you starting with?
all your guys' picks were great, by the way. I didn't get to talk about it, but yeah. Doobie. I am gonna go with a personal one here on this one. I'm gonna go with The Ref.
Ooh.
Heard of
Hey, that's what I like.
Dennis
to hear.
Leary. Dennis Leary, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey and what do I have Googled here now?
Can't speak his
Judy
name.
Day-
now.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey, who is good at acting and not at anything else. And Judy Davis. They play a married couple, and Dennis Leary goes to fucking rob them, and fucking they're fighting all the time, and basically he ends up being their fucking mediator and shit. It's fucking hilarious. So I'm gonna go with that one.
There you go. And with that said, Antonio, your final pick in round 5. How are you gonna fuck this up?
All right, I'm not gonna be a dick and take what I feel is most certainly your last pick.
I got 2 picks. Whatever.
Okay, and then I was gonna go this weird route, and this other movie, I think I enjoyed it, but I think it's universally hated or not as appreciated. I'm gonna go back to raunchy and end with Office Christmas Party.
I haven't seen it since theaters, but goddamn, I want to rewatch it this season.
Hell
I'm
yeah!
not mad at you for that pick. I remember that movie being a lot of fucking fun.
Yes, hell yeah.
Talk about it real quick.
It's a quintessential Christmas movie if it was like real life in the sense that like if you're like working that kind of like just environment where it's just a corporate thing and people will get fucked up and just so many shenanigans. It's like it's
When they
so
go
many
from the lights and they swing. And
right. It's just that shit. And the fact that they had what's his name? They had an awesome hip hop song, "Let Me Clear My Throat." Just that one part, and then Kate McKinnon, Rob Corddry, just everybody.
Was that? No, that was after Ghostbusters, but I think that was the best Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, right,
Like,
exactly.
Ghostbusters, that was the first one, really, but I feel like Office Christmas Party was the first one where she was able to do something and like not to be goofy and still be good. Like, yeah,
Especially where like it's an R-rated film where it almost borders on unrated.
Facts.
at times,
There's
so
some
yeah.
shit there.
Yeah.
Speaking of unrated, JPO, what is your final pick?
Alrighty. You know what? Screw you guys. I'm really just gonna go by my heart now. You're gonna think I'm joking, maybe, unless you've seen it, because then you'll know that this movie is delightful from beginning to end. Queen Latifah's The Last Holiday. By God, does this have such a beautiful spirit to it? I got to this like a decade later. I remember my mom recommended it, and she makes good choices. And I literally, it is so charming. They even do a nice kind of revamp of like the villains in the movies here. It really leaves you with a full heart, and that's what all of you naughty boys need.
Interesting. All right, Barber. Last pick for you. What are you going with?
Yeah, I'm looking at my list, and I think I need a good animated movie just to kind of round out
Makes me
the
feel
list. So I'm gonna go with the Polar Express.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
animated, but I feel you.
That's the one I thought was like universally hated.
What are your thoughts on the movie? Because at least from my perspective, I've never seen it. So why is that a good pick for this movie or for this?
I think it's a fun time. The animation is
Not creepy? Yeah, first.
you know, sure, but no, the story's fun. The train ride. I work in a childcare center, and almost every year this is the movie that we choose to watch, and they love it. So it's it's one that I kind of have to revisit every year, but at the same time I'm not disappointed that I have to, because I do have fun with it.
Yeah,
they drift a train
That's one
in that
stigma.
flick.
It's like I feel like the quote unquote have to is never that has no bearing on the actual movie's quality. Like sometimes, like the people that like try and judge 12 Acre Man or Remember the Titans, like, oh, we watched that in school, in high school. Like that doesn't have anything to do with anything. The movie's still a banger. Just because you watched it in school doesn't mean it's a I only watched it while the sub's there movie. Like, no, fuck off. So that's great that you said that. So I it's similar to, what did I just say? Klaus and what was the other one I just said? There was another movie where it's like I haven't seen it yet, but I want it. I know I haven't seen a single Muppets movie, so we'll just say that one. But like that's one where it's like I probably should watch it this year for the first time. So I definitely respect that you said that. I mean, Zemeckis, right? So it's like I kind of have to just for out of respect for him. So I want There's actually a couple movies where it's like, damn, dude. There's
Man,
some-
just pick your favorite. You
no,
know,
no. But I'm saying like, there's a bunch of movies where it's like there's some good movies on here. When I talk about honorable mentions, you're like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that one. But obviously, I am gonna go Last Christmas. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I have no shame on that. But it's one of
Yeah,
those things where it's like
fuck
the
you.
irony of the
Shit,
fact that
Last Christmas.
the options make it a lot harder because, like, even though I love Last Christmas, I actually love a lot of these other movies on this, remaining as well, because there's a few that you're gonna, when I talk about them, because I have first voice, that you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that as a Christmas movie, just like what you talked about, like Lethal Weapon and Gremlins, et cetera, et cetera. But Last Christmas is a movie that a lot of people, I really. So there's a few movies that, like, I know that I like that other people don't like, or like don't love as much as me, and I get it. Last Christmas is one of the ones I genuinely don't get it. Amelia Clarke and Henry Golding have fantastic chemistry. Emma Thompson's character is great. Michelle Yeoh is fantastic in terms of just doing what she does. She brings a presence to it. The music is great. The message is great. Dealing with the homeless shelter and just the vibes of giving back to the people is just great. And just the arc, like, I'm a big fan of character arcs, and I feel like Amelia Clarke's character arc in this movie is just great because it just showcases not only what she went through in her past, but also what she's going through right now, just as an adult. A lot of us, in the Henry Confidential Talks movies community are in our late 20s, early 30s. So we're all, adults, not in our early 20s, like some other communities. But that's a lot of us, like, kind of understand, like, hey, we're older. And even if we're not going through this, we could see that, like, giving a different turn in life, we could be in that same exact position she's going through. And it's like, sometimes you need that kick in the butt. And I really love the message that this movie shows. And Paul Feig's direction is great. The comedy's great, but it's not overdoing it. It's not being overly goofy. And I feel like it's a great message. Like, a lot of people think it's cliche just because on paper it sounds like it would be, but it really isn't. And it is what it is. I don't get the hate for it. So Last Christmas, one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm proud to, just like what I talked about in the MC movies, like, I'm proud to have Age of Ultron and Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness is my 4 and 5, because, like, they're some of my favorites. I know I could easily get them in 4 or 5, but, like, they would be probably higher if it's one of those, like, if I wanted to. But yeah. So I'm gonna talk about some honorable mentions, movies that technically made me think about going other ones. The Night Before, the Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Seth Rogen, Anthony Mackie movie. Like, that's a movie that I watched for the first time last year, and I was like, wow, that was really fun. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. A lot of people forget that that takes place Christmas time, and it's just a lot of fun. So it's just like with obviously Shane Black, so it just handles that. A lot of people, it takes place in Thanksgiving, but if we want to really stretch it, Planes, Trains, Automobiles could really be used as a Christmas movie because holiday season. Same thing with When Harry Met Sally, as well as The Apartment. Both they're more like a New Year's technically, but it kind of like floats that you could really deal with those from around this time. And then Black Christmas, if you want to kind of stretch the holiday theme versus just like it takes place on Christmas. So there's some honorable mentions. Jacob Barber, your 5 are The Polar Express, Gremlins, Christmas Vacation, The Santa Claus, and A Muppet's Christmas Carols. Do you have any honorable mentions that you, if we extended this list, you would have proudly have picked?
Yeah, I do. I would have considered The Santa Claus 2. I think it's just about as good as the first one for me personally. White Christmas, I really enjoy. If I wanted to get a classic on there, that probably would have been my choice. Scrooged, I think with Bill Murray. I think it's really
one
good.
I'm surprised no one picked, just because I know the love for Bill Murray.
As well as Scrooge or any version of A Christmas Carol that's not Muppets. I think most of them are pretty decent. And but this last one, I know it's recent, but Spirited, I really enjoyed.
I haven't seen it yet, but I know it's got some good reviews. So, like, yeah, shout out to that.
Little too recent, maybe. So
that's fair. JPO, just a little recap of your picks. You have Die Hard, fucker, Jingle All the Way, Klaus, Happiest Season. Oof, that you really fucking tanked that Die Hard pick, and The Last Holiday. What are your thoughts on both your roster as well as some honorable mentions?
Yeah, I can't wait to win this poll because y'all bitches are sleeping on Happiest Season. So, yeah, me and the Glad community are gonna win this thing. I'm happy with my picks because honorable mentions. I know he did mention it was recent, but Spirited is definitely on my mind. I was gonna go ahead and say Die Hard 2, or Miracle on 34th Street 94. Scrooge, Arthur Christmas is actually really enjoyable. The Night Before, Better Watch Out, and Krampus for your horror. The Holiday, good cast there. Bad Moms Christmas, and another one that's kind of recent but not that bad. 8-Bit Christmas was actually pretty fun too.
That's a HBO movie, right?
NPH. NPH on HBO. Yes.
I had to debate that for movie battleground of like, oh, what movie has the best streaming service? Maybe I'm like, I don't know if I can confidently argue that one, so I'm just not. Ant-Man, just a recap of your movies. You went Home Alone, Lethal Weapon, Bad Santa, Jim Carrey's The Grinch, and Office Christmas Party. Do you regret any of your picks? Do you wish that, maybe you would have done something different? And do you have any honorable mentions?
Maybe Lethal Weapon is a little bit higher, but I'm still happy overall. And yeah, because I feel like if I had a chance to steal Santa Claus, I think my list would be undeniable. Otherwise, I'm still happy with how it went. And my honorable mentions, JP up to one of them. I put The Holiday. Just Friends. I think people forget that. It's another Ryan Reynolds Christmas movie. Four Christmases. It wasn't like reviewed good, but I loved it when I saw it. I thought it was like low key very fucking funny. And I had to throw in a geek movie in there, man. Batman Returns. People forget that it's a Christmas movie, so it takes place during it. So yeah, I almost thought about making that my fifth, but I didn't want to.
Fuck you!
I hate that movie. I give you respect for that. Tato, question number one. You had the option to go first overall. Obviously, you went Nightmare for Christmas, which in hindsight might have been a mistake. But the rest of your picks, do you feel like your draft was hindered based on going number one? And overall, are you happy with your roster of A Nightmare for Christmas, A Christmas Story, Trading Places, Miracle on 34th Street, and The Ref?
Yeah, that sounds great. I wanted Nightmare Before Christmas, and I don't feel too hurt by the way the second and third played back to me. So that one kind of balanced itself out. I really like my roster. I had The Apartment as well as one that I'm surprised didn't go. And then like Batman 89 Returns did also cross my thought process there.
There you go.
But yeah, overall a good draft for everyone involved, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if I said this in my mention, but ironically, on paper, a lot of people don't think about it, but Harold and Kumar Christmas movie, it's one of those ones where it's like you would think it'd be over the top, like stupid, but it's actually a lot of fun. Like it's a really good trilogy, and this movie is surprisingly like an underrated one of like it caps it off. You know what I mean? It was a good time. So it's like obviously, clearly, it wasn't like top 25 worthy for this draft, but if you haven't seen it for some reason, I would definitely shout it out if you like R-rated comedies. It was a good time. But yeah, let's go ahead. Tato, any last things you want to say, plugs, and just holiday cheers?
Yeah, happy holidays to all, and to all a good movie watching whenever you do that. I am over at Movie Battleground on December 13th. You will find a match dropping between me and Le Champion, Henry Sanchez. That's a fun little exhibition ditty. Over at TMG, TM Geek, I'm in the Team Geek tournament with my boy Sandy Sandman Robinson. We're finding our footing. We got a match against Chad and Noah Bruin over there. And then find me over at the Pierce Co. on ASAP.
There you go. Antonio, what are your overall thoughts on the concept of the Christmas draft, drafts in general, and just anything you want to plug and shout out?
Oh, I love drafts. I mean, you can tell because we talk football all the time and even do baseball drafts once in a while. I mean, it's appropriate. Christmas is coming up, so yeah, gets us all in the holiday mood. I hope that actually this is the first poll that hopefully I might actually win this one. Be my first one ever. But yeah, looking forward to many more drafts in the future, and happy holidays to all.
There you go. JPO, Pierce Co. Network. Oh, I can't think. There's another word. I can't think of it. What are your thoughts on your roster, the concept of drafts, Christmas movies, and plugs?
No, I mean you were pretty much there. It's just the Pierce Co. That's how you'll find all my movie stuff. No, man. I mean drafts are fun. Like you said, things get stolen. Sometimes you say really underrated, Hulu gems, and everyone looks at you strangely. What can you say? Just things happen, and sometimes people judge Netflix releases just because they're on Netflix. I don't know. What can you say? All I can say is go watch Last Holiday, and Queen Latifah will make your heart flutter.
I don't know if I would buy that for $1. Jacob, so this was your idea. Obviously, it was on the spot, so I get that. There's a little bit of pressure of like, oh, I didn't really have any prep. But now that we've seen it, are you happy of how this went down? Is there any regrets? And are you still JPO's best friend?
No regrets. How it went down. I think I really enjoy my roster. I think everybody has pretty strong roster, so I'm curious to see if they're how a poll goes. Hopefully, I go 1 for 1, but it is what it is. No, I enjoy drafts. Let's do another one soon. This was fun.
There you go. And fun fact: this is exactly 4 hours shorter than the most recent tournament fights. My name is Henry Confidential, and this was the Christmas movie draft. There's no, I don't want to say best. You instinctively want to say like best or like, some like, hot word, but it's just Christmas movie drafts. So comment below your favorite Christmas movie in general, and just what, if you had for some reason all 5 picks, what your top 5 Christmas movies are. So give us your favorites and what your roster would be if you had all 5 picks for Christmas movies. So shout out to Jake Tato. And Antonio, see, I almost said the Anthony thing. A lot of people have been saying Anthony has been pissing me off. Antonio Chavez, Jordan Pierce Ovens, Jake Barber, and Hen Confidential. This is Henry Confidential Movie Talk movies. I don't remember from what I fucking talk. I've been drinking for a while. It's my only off day tomorrow. Don't judge me, guys. Laters.